So to get back into 3ds Max, we have our model right here. And right now, we're going to do some basic animation. And basically, we're going to just rotate this bone to open the lid. Down here is your animation tools. There are well, I say 4 pieces. There is your timeline right here. You've got auto key, which you probably would want. You definitely want this on generally. The key button, make a key, and then we will control time configuration. So for my purposes, I'm going to bring up the time configuration window, and this is the box right here that I am more concerned about. My start time is 100. I'm going to put my end time at 20. I'm just going to do I'll do 22 frames actually. There's a reason for that. I'll click OK, and this will bring my timeline from here, basically from 0 to 22. For my box right now, I am actually going to key it right away. And you'll see that if you look down here, there's like a red, green, and blue that's representing the animation channels. And I'm going to go to my next frame right here, which is 1. And I'm going to key that right away. I'm going to move down to 21. I'm going to set a key here. And this is where I'm actually going to move the... I've selected everything. I want to just select just the bone. So you're doing the work not on the model, not the model piece. You're working on the bones, right? And I want to be clear what's going on. You have a skeleton, a rig, and how skeleton animation works is basically you rig a model. You basically take your model and you rig it to the skeleton, and then you have animations which are performed on the skeleton. So you got your animation data that is related. So you have animations. Your animations are for a skeleton structure. And that's the most important thing, is that you've got your model. Your model is a variable piece. Your animation is a variable piece. They work to a skeletal structure, to a rig. This allows us to use rigs over, so that if we've got a like humanoid characters, we can do all of our humans with a certain, we do a certain set of animations, and we can reuse them over and over on our characters. Half-Life is the first major game that really does that really well. That was a major piece of Half-Life. Ironically, id Software did not bring in skeletal animation until Doom 3, to be quite honest. So Quake 1, Quake 2, Quake 3, they do what's called vertex animation. So the model, every frame of animation, the model, basically you've got a new model for every frame of animation. And that is laborious. And it drove the artists up the wall that they didn't do skeletal animation, particularly Quake 3. Unreal Engine has used skeletal animation out of the box as well. So there's the other one, So if you look back in time, there's an old oddity that we have to take into account. So we're going to rotate the bone, and I'm going to rotate this one, and I'm just basically going to set this to, I think, -90 is what? Nope, 90. There we go. So so here is my timeline, and I'm going to basically make a new key again right here. And I'm going to basically just type in a 0. Why did you go that way? That's weird. I'm going to go 10. I'm going to do a 45. I'm going to key that. I'm going to make sure that's keyed as well. Okay. And then I'm going to key this. All right, I'm going to to delete this key. So I'm going to just select this and hit delete. I am not sure why this is acting weird. But I'm going to key here, and I'm going to go and make this as 90. And here we go. So I'm getting what I want, but again, I'm adjusting with a keyframe right here. And I'll basically a midpoint. And then up here, I'm just really going to key this one more time. And so really my animation is, I should be able to delete this key. Hopefully that, yeah, there we go. So it's weird that I got that backwards animation going on. I controlled it by using an intermediate point right here. Now that I've got that set correct, I can take that key out and it'll just translate this correctly for me. I am going to actually go back to my time configuration, and I'm going to take off another, my end frame is going to be 21. So I'm going to take off a frame at the end. Basically, I have an animation from 0. So basically, I've got three animations going on here. I have what would be basically an idle between 0 and 1. This is why I did this. I can set up and say this is an idle animation where my box is always closed. I can say that my open and close is basically is in this direction is going to be an open, and then 20 frames 20, 20, 21 can be an idle open animation. And we will use this to our effect. Now I'm gonna work with this setup right here right now, and I'm actually gonna save my scene. I'm gonna bring this back to just so that we're sanity check. I'm gonna bring it back to 0 on the timeline. Save, and then I'm going to export. Pick chest 2 again. Yes, I'm going to replace it. This time I'm going to export out with animation. So I'll click OK. Let's go back to Unity. This time, not Unity Hub. I'm going to bring in chest 2 FBX again. And I'm going to delete this one. And so now we go to animation right now. It has different so in Unity, animation is reflected as clips. They're called animation clips. And right now I've got take 001. And this is going from, and I'm not sure why Unity wants to have in between frames. They represent the frames with a decimal point. Ignore the decimal point. In fact, I'm actually going to make 3 clips right here. And this is going to be I'm going to rename this. There we go. Take 01. This is going to be my open idle. And it's going to start from 0 to 1. This take I'm going to be called opening. This is going to be from 1 to 20. Remember, and then I'm going to have then a 20. This one is be 20 to 21, and this is going to be my close idle. All right. So what I'm basically saying is these first 2 frames represent an animation that I can apply to the model that's going to say you're always closed. The next animation is the lid opening up. We'll click on this right here. We can actually press play. You see that it is going to repeat opening up. Stop. And then finally, I have a close animation that is, I've got these backwards. This is actually my closed idle. And now when I open up my chest, you'll see that now I'm going to save now. Now I've got what these pieces right here, which are essentially the animations. So this is something to be aware about, is that an FBX can contain both geometry information. It can also hold material information. It can also hold animation information. Um, if you're just were working by yourself, you're working on like just animations. You could just export out animations. Have a temporary model to do your work with, and just export out animation. So what that looks like, I'm just gonna go back. Yeah, fine, that's nice. Let's close Unity Hub before it gets in the way. So let's just assume I'm going to save as, and you can see right here, I did here's my chest. I did chest with animations, and this was just I'm going to go back just to show you the other way. Where basically I've done, here's my so here's the chest. No, I don't want to save as. Hold on. Open. So let's look at the chest. So here is my model chest. So I did a little bit of work with here. Here is my lid root. And then down here, we can see this is my, not the chest. There we go. Here is the chest root. So we go back, file open. So what I did here with Animin, so here is basically with my select. Oh, okay. This was okay. Override this. All right. So basically, I basically use this to. Here's my other frame. All right. So this basically ended up being only the lid open idle animation. You see that I've made a timeline of just 2 frames, and basically it's just one and the other frame here. Let's go file open. Yeah, I must have overridden one of the files by accident. But here is 2 frames with the animation open. What I ended up doing is, for this case, let's go back. I exported out the FBX, and I can go with, just to sake of argument, export. I'm just going to do open just for the sake of argument. Yes, I'm going to cancel out. But ultimately, what I did is I have the animation only. You can check that on, and just so you're not exporting geometry. So if you're just doing animation, that's what you need to pick. So there's 2 ways we can do it. So you do it all in one file. You can do each animation in its own file. Depending on what you need to do, there's 2 ways of doing it. Basically, there's an animation file for each animation. Depending on what you need to do, that may be what you want. Or you could do one file with multiple animations on that timeline. It's just you got to go through and know where your animations are by your keyframes. And just see what the close wanted. Yeah, I lost the animation of it opening. But I still have the FBX file, so that's not a big deal. So let's go back. So you look at, so here's the chest, and then here is chest animation closed, chest animation open. Again, here is the chest root, the idle open. idle closed, so they've been named. And in here is the closed opening animation as well. I think these are actually not working correctly. All right. So we've done some basic animation, we're brought it in. For Unity, this is the last piece. Just go back. Let me just stop